soon as the Tory party lost the election, mates of mine were giving me loads of kind of, Mark, man, what are you going to talk about now there's no Tory party? Who are you going to talk about on stage, eh? The Labour government have given me the odd snippet of material. 3 Labour MPs have been suspended in their first term of office. 3. And I just think, oh, come to me, you evil little whores. You evil fuck pig whore pimps, you fucking warming up nicely. 3, oh yes, because the day Peter Mandelson is found nailed face down to the Millennium Dome with a felt straw out of his arse is the day I take a pleasure trip down the Thames tied to the masthead. Some of you just sitting, Mark. You have to go over the liberal line of consensus, don't you? So you have that. Then you have this amazing thing. We have Dobson now in health. This is the man who's in charge of the longest waiting list yet. Frank Dobson. This is the guy who is thinking of charging us 10 quid just to visit the doctor. 10 quid. You just got 10 quid. You just got to wait till your mates have got the same illness. Have a whip round. Go on, Gary. Find out what it is, mate. Go on. There'll be boys standing around in the toilet going, it's not exactly the same, but it's worth a quid, isn't it? Go on, shit. 10 quid. There's people going in there. There's me tenner. I better be fucking ill. It's a cold. I want a £5 back. One of the people they got to tell the good news about the NHS is a man called Greg Dyke. Greg Dyke is there to communicate that news. Greg Dyke is the man who invented Roland Rat. When they get the man who invented Roland Rat to tell us the information about the NHS, you really do have to ask yourself how fucking bad is that information. Why don't you go the whole hog? Why don't you get Paul McKenna doing the waiting list? You're not here, you're feeling better. Go home, go fuck off. Why don't you get Paul Daniels doing the cervical smear test results? Is that the one you were thinking of? Is that your result? Is that the card you were after? Is that the one you wanted? Then they have this thing called workfare. They have workfare, okay? Now, the welfare to work, the New Deal. This is what happens. This is where people on the dole are forced to work for the dole money. Now, this is corporate slavery. This is slave labour, this is barbarism, and it is fucking nonsensical rubbish because it presupposes that people on the dole haven't got jobs already. What we're doing is we're getting people to work for free as a warm-up to, you know, the New Deal?
Yeah.
You know the welfare to work?
No, I don't.
Well, Stagecoach is part of the New Deal, and I just thought, I know it hasn't started yet, but we thought I'd bring in a few people and just sort of like give them a go. We're providing the workers with training for the jobs that need training for the workers that need to be filled for the millennium. I've just brought this lot along to help out.
To help out?
Yes, they're doing, you know, they're just working here for free. They're just helping collect, just to get work experience. In just selling cars and how you deal with customers, how you work with customers. And it's for the workfare. Do you know workfare? They've renamed everything. They rename it all. It's like now you're not unemployed. You're a job seeker. It's fantastic. People all over the hills of Britain. All over the northeast. I've been out all day with my divining rod and I found fuck all work. It is just incredible. Job seeker. It sounds like something from Dungeons and Dragons, doesn't it? Hi, I'm job seeker. Join with me, form filler. I shall be form filler and must join with single mother and benefit scrounger. Come! I want to get my lad here, the one in the long coat, work experience.
Yeah.
Could I leave Jack here with you? Start pushing. Just keep in the left-hand lane. In the left-hand lane. It's left.
I played it with the governor, so...
Fantastic.
Your friend wants to stay, no problem.
So it's okay, so he could stay and actually pick up a few tricks?
You certainly can.
One of the weird things about all of this is the fact that they then say is you have to prove that you're trying to get off the dole. When you go for an interview, they say, what efforts are you taking to remove yourself from the state's benevolence, whatever the fuck it is? Are you stopping being a sponger? That's what we want to know. They said, what efforts are you taking to remove yourself from the state's benefit? I've bought a lottery ticket. You're taking the piss, aren't you? We're trained in this kind of thing. If you could just give some kind of indication of your direction.
Good colour. Look at that. It's good colour. If it's a man you're talking to, tell him it's a manly colour. Yeah? It's a woman, so it's a fantastically feminine colour. Have you got any tips for our people here?
Not at the moment, no, because my branch has come to a standstill, so I'd like...
Oh, I am terribly sorry. You've caused chaos, you lot.
Get stuck in. It's involvement and commitment that counts. In this country, we have a real thing about the work ethic. You know, you often get this, hard work never hurt anyone, you know. And the people who normally say it look like they've never done it. You know, hard work never hurt it. You've never done... No, I haven't, but I've seen people who have, and they look jolly well. And there is a whole thing of kind of like this hard work never hurt anyone, they're good to work hard. And folk music, you take folk music, this is supposed to be the people's music. Every folk gig I've been to, there has been a song about how great hard work is. Every gig. There'll be someone up there, oh, terribly hard down the mines. And many men they died. But old Jack, he could hew the coal and could he hew it well. Fuck Jack. That's a piece of nostalgic shit. You want a song that truly reflects work, that reflects the tedium, mundanity and pointless stupidity of most people's working lives. You'd have people up there in Aaron sweaters going, oh, fuckity, 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 fuck, fuckity, 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 fuck, it's fucking 9 o'clock, I'm fucking late for fucking work, I don't give a fucking shit, oh, fuck the fucking bastard, I'm phoning fucking sick. That will be our song. Work together, watch the road. No, straight through, Duncan, straight through. Give it a nice chamois down there. Awareness at all times. Keep at it, and remember, everything that you encounter that's an obstacle is a learning experience. The people who work in the New Deal, you should remember one thing. Well, two things. Firstly, it's coercive. If you don't take the job, you get your benefit cut. Secondly, the other part to remember is that the companies who employ people on the New Deal get paid 60 quid a week per person who's on the New Deal. They also get paid £750 for the training. Now, this is quite interesting because some of the companies on the New Deal are companies like Burger King. And I just don't see how you can have 750 quid's worth of fucking training. At Burger King, you either fry the fucker or you don't. This is why we're bringing this lot in to train them.
No, we don't have time for that.
You don't have time to train staff? What we're trying to do is get a pledge from Alec Reid that he won't use the Welfare to Workfare programme, the New Deal programme, in an exploitative fashion. I'm sure that will just to reassure people.
This is the New Deal pledge that we wanted them to sign. And this says, I promise to offer each worker on the New Deal a proper job, continue beyond the scheme if the employee is suitably able. Decent wage levels in line with existing employees. Observe any future statutory minimum wage. High quality training leading to an approved qualification. You can see where some of them fell down on signing this, can't you?
I was just wondering how we're doing on the Welfare to Work pledges.
Sure, as I mentioned before, we'll be getting back to you about that.
When?
Well, as I mentioned before, we will be getting back to you about that.
But I mean, do you know when?
Well, we will be getting back to you. I mentioned before the time.
Sorry, could you remind me, because I don't know the time.
Well, we will be getting back to you about that.
But you don't, so it's an indefinite?
Well, we'll certainly be getting back to you.
Are you going to sign the pledge? Is the pledge going to be signed?
Well, we'll certainly get back to you about that.
You don't have an idea of who might sign it?
We'll certainly be getting back to you about that.
Have you taken some kind of bizarre Fifth Amendment?
We'll certainly be getting back to you.
2 people have signed this pledge. One of them is Barry Arnold of Stagecoach, East London. Now, Stagecoach, you might remember, they were the people who decided to act like whores and genetically crossed whores with Homer Simpson. Because Stagecoach were the people who said, sack the drivers of the train, sack them, give me the money, who's going to drive the train? Do! Did anyone see the fall in the logic there? But they've signed this. They've actually fucking signed. They've signed recognition of trade unions and their rights. So cool. We are going to get this printed up, and we're going to post this to every worker at Stagecoach East London, so they know they have this piece of paper.
So we came down here with our new deal pledges signed by Barry Arnold, all personally laminated for the individual workers, and they refused to talk to us. They, in fact, refused to take any of our calls. They're even refusing to say whether they signed it, and I think you'll find they did. There you go. This is the new deal pledge. It's from Barry Arnold. So you've got your own copy now of Mr. Arnold's pledge about how he's going to treat the workforce. We've had these little laminates made up for everyone who works at the garage, so they know what he signed. Anything kicks off, you can always refer to that.
Great stuff.
Hope that's of use.
Yeah, brilliant.
Brilliant.
Good idea.
Do you know any of the lads who might appreciate?
I think a lot of the lads will actually appreciate
Well, do you want to take some in?
Yeah.
So that is classic, that is. Really good.
Cool.
That time more people did this sort of thing, at least you know where you're staying then.
We tried to get an interview with a man called Tom Moynihan, the managing director, owner of Domino's Pizza, and he's in charge of the whole thing. He has funded all sorts of anti-abortionists and has come up with all sorts of like really ridiculous statements like the trade unions are responsible for the federal deficit. He's he's an interesting character we thought worthy of cross-examination in the one-to-one interview format. And then we spoke to his PR person at Domino's Pizzas.
Has Mr. Moynihan funded anti-choice groups?
Mr. Monahan funds Catholic organizations.
Has he funded anti-choice groups?
Mr. Monahan is very proud of his support and
Has he
contribution.
funded groups that actually try to outlaw abortion?
That question is up for interpretation.
How can it be up for interpretation, for God's sake? The man either does fund anti-choice groups or he doesn't.
Is this a personal issue for you?
No, it isn't. What is becoming a personal issue is the fact that you're not answering the questions and you're supposed to be a PR who's supposed to answer them.
I'm not going to answer any of your yes or no questions because you're putting words in my mouth.
So you can't answer questions with yeses and nos, that's correct, is it?
Mark, this is getting silly.
You can't even answer the question on whether you can answer the questions with a yes or a no, can you?
Mark, I think this conversation has gotten unproductive.
I appreciate your time and your effort, and I'd like you to know that spiritually we're all part of one consciousness, and I love you.
That's very interesting. Well, okay, Mark, it's I hope that you came away with something good out of this conversation.
I think we both did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Goodbye now.
Bye-bye.
Obviously, you know, we're not going to get an interview with Tom Moynihan, and it's very hard, therefore, to get the information out to people about what Tom Moynihan does, unless, of course, you find another way of trying to get that information out, which is what we did. And I got a job. That's the one you wanted, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it, yes.
This is the Channel 4 Bike of Truth. Did you know that Domino's Pizza is chairman and owner is a guy called Tom Moynihan in America?
Right.
And he funds all sorts of disparate things through a charitable foundation called the Domino Foundation. He has also donated money in the past to support the successful referendum that terminated tax-funded abortions in Michigan. What do you feel about that?
I'm not particularly happy about knowing that that sort of money is donated from money I pay towards a pizza, no.
Do you think that people would want to know that that's where their pizza money might end up?
Yes.
One more for the Bike of Truth.
Hiya, Domino's. Thank you. We've missed the fucking lift. I'm not walking to the 7th floor.
The one great thing is if the lift breaks, we've got pizza.
Did you know the chairman and owner of Domino's Pizza is a guy called Tom Moynihan from America? It's a franchise. And this is what he said, right? Moynihan estimated that a family of 4 today could have an adequate balanced diet on an annual food budget of $150 to $300 a year. I swear to God.
We're a family of 4, and I couldn't survive on that for more than a month.
This is what he said. First thing, go to the Farm Bureau and buy a £100 bag of powdered milk. Like they feed calves. Buy oats, a bushel of corn, and mash that stuff up. Grow some vegetables, supplement your diet. I think that's exciting.
I'm over the moon.
What did you think about Tom Moynihan saying that?
Can I swear?
Yeah, you can.
Bit of really, isn't it?
You see, it used to be a thing of beauty, and now, Tom Moynihan, you've made it ugly.
In a way, you can understand why he wants to defend fetuses in a way, because as soon as they're born, he just slings a crash helmet on, slings them on the bike. Deliver those fuckers! We spoke later on to the Society for the Protection of the Unborn Child, who believe that abortion is not tenable under any circumstances, be it whether the woman has got cancer, whether she's a victim of rape or incestuous rape, whatever. No abortion should be permitted.
We need to have punishment for abortionists.
Of course.
People who commit an act of murder must be punished.
Abortionists should, yes, absolutely, and that's the way you would do it.
And we've got to say that a life is a life here. And so if someone is a convicted abortionist, they are a murderer. And they must serve the same sentence as someone convicted of murdering a young child.
I wouldn't have any problem with that at all.
You are the voice in many ways. Everyone involved in the struggle for life is the voice of the unborn child.
Mm-hmm.
But more than anyone, perhaps, you are that voice.
It's not that I'm trying to beat anybody down, but I know what is right and I know what is wrong.
There's a Mary Stopes down in Brixton, and every now and again you go past them and they've got the guys there with their little placards with abortion is morally wrong, and you just think, oh, fuck. Your very existence disproves your point. Now just fuck off. Just fuck off. Before we make it retrospective. Because you're embarrassing, okay? And, you know, that whole thing, you know, it is embarrassing when you get men going, I don't want abortion. You don't have to have one. Fuck off. And the weird thing is that basically there's a guy in Scotland who tried to stop his ex-wife having an abortion. And my take on it, as soon as men can actually have abortions, then they have a right to try and stop women having them. Until that day arrives, any man who tries to stop a woman having an abortion should by law be forced to have a backstreet vasectomy performed by a blind lesbian car mechanic. And that just seems fucking fair. And the weird thing is if you're pro-choice, they say, no, you're not pro-choice, you're pro-abortion. No, I believe women have got a right to choose to do what they want with their own bodies. No, you're pro-abortion. No, I'm fucking not. If I was pro-abortion, I'd be doing what they do in reverse. I'd be hanging around maternity wards with big banners going, get rid of it, get rid of them. Jesus hates them, go on. When they're 16, they'll steal your jewellery for drugs, go on.
What we have is almost a pictorial representation of what we hope the vision could be here. Now let me just talk you through this. Here, okay, we have the clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take away. This is where people can get abortions. Here we've got the backstreet abortionists, we've got the legal abortionists at the moment. These are people who, if they continue, end up in jail.
Mm-hmm.
We have here a rather nice drawing of a sex educationalist who is now finding other employment.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the best thing that they could do and get out of the harm's way. This is the spectre of casual sex.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we hope goes. We have here, just by the church, we have women who have been made pregnant through incest or rape, receiving the unconditional, non-judgmental love of their community. This would be our vision.
If I do anything in my life, it is to set up a vision that is alternative to that which our society has settled for, and to give people the courage to share in that vision.
There's a woman pregnant with twins, this is a little while ago, she's pregnant with twins, and she wanted to abort one. And the pro-lifers offered her £80,000 not to have the abortion. 80,000 not to have one. It started off at 40,000, 40,000, 80,000. It's like Des O'Connor. Go for the money, take the box, have the abortion. You think if I was one of the fetuses, I'd be in there going, hold out for the caravan and the car. offer a woman 80 grand not to have an abortion is just sick. What did they think it was, a fucking auction? Did they expect the pro-choice to jump in and go 160 and do the pair? If you wish to prevent abortion, why do you not promote contraception?
Because it's a myth.
Contraception
It doesn't work. The more contraception you throw at young people, the more of them have sex.
So contraception causes abortion. Let's be clear on that.
Yes. It also causes sexually transmitted diseases. It also causes dysfunctional relationships.
Hello, Catherine. How are you? How are you? Lovely to see you again. Lovely to see you. We've sort of come along. We've bought some boards. Yes. I've just been making these. We're going to make a whole load of these up.
Right.
We've got like.
This isn't part of the chain, though.
Can I show you the other ones then? Can we just quickly show you? Because look, we've got.
Well, why are you holding this?
Well, because we've had a chat with Catherine. These are what we were talking about, wasn't it?
No, they're not.
This is what we're talking about.
No, I'm sorry. You're trying to undermine our...
No,
Yes, you are.
No, don't do that. Excuse me.
You're trying to
Because
undermine
what we're doing is this is what we're talking about. We've chatted to Catherine about this.
No, you haven't.
We have. We've had quite a lot of conversation with Catherine.
Contraception has got nothing whatsoever to do with abortion and our
It has. Of course it has. I mean, that's the whole point, isn't it?
Ban the freedom of choice for those wanting abortion and enforce capital punishment.
Are you trained by the Communist Party?
Sorry, was I trained by the Communist Party?
What you're trying to do is to come along with messages to create a completely ridiculous caricature of the pro-life movement.
No, but...
You're very good at totalitarian tactics. You're bigger than me.
I'm not bigger than you. What do you mean you're bigger than me? What kind of statement is that? What are you, a boxer or something? Well,
Then I hope you find another job in another career.
Thank you very much. It's just I feel a little bit harassed now. It depends on whose statistics you fucking believe, but they vary between 190 to 500 women die each day through backstreet abortions. Now, I had a row recently with someone after a gig. They came up to me and said, are you prepared to discuss anything that you've mentioned on stage? I said, yeah. They said, okay, I'm a pro-lifer, and I want to discuss with you why we should ban abortion. I said, tell me, oh wise one, lead me. They said, we should ban abortion for one reason. I said, tell me. They said, it's simply this. Anyone who has an abortion or uses contraception is going to hell. Sorry, I didn't expect your argument to be that scientific. I apologise. I said, do you realise that represents 95% of the women in Britain alone? He said, yeah. And if you carry on saying what you say on stage, you're going to join them in hell. Too fucking right I am. Yes, sirree. He's going to be up there singing Kumbaya, my lord, Kumbaya.
Listen, all of you people,